Good morning, DFW. This is the Real Sky Day show from your makers over at the Toasty Podcast. We now do a show just with me, and I'm going to go over some just weird crap that I see, no matter what it is. It could be pop culture, and it could be politics. It doesn't really matter. I'm just doing whatever I want on this show, so you guys can jump on board, and we will begin this show. Today, I want to talk a little bit about a conspiracy theory that I've been hearing more of because I work with a guy that actually wants to talk about it. So it's interesting stuff. I actually have not been around it that much. You know, I'm in the news all the time. I'm trying to research stuff, but this is not something that's really prevalent. It's not something that's really out there. No one really talks about it, probably because it sounds a little bit too far-fetched. But so did COVID lab leaks before, COVID was a thing. So here we are. This is not your average show, and I'm not your average guy, so let's go. In this article I'm gonna read, it mentions a YouTube video, right? It's not even an article, actually. You know what's weird about this? It literally just says, for military personnel has a letter of appreciation from a retirement ceremony. The thing is that the original. So here's what I'll say: the original video. There was a video on TikTok, right? And it went pretty viral, I guess. A little bit over 40,000 views. Which, if you guys haven't already, you can go follow my page, The Real Sky Day or the Toasty Podcast. We actually do get some views there too. But on TikTok, the way it works, I don't know if you guys have used TikTok or not. By this point, everyone should know what it is. I know that everyone thought it was toxic at first, and I actually don't. From the beginning, I've been saying I don't really think so. Even though it's owned by a Chinese company, I get that. I understand ByteDance is, whatever, but it's they let you share whatever you want. Like, I have not really witnessed a lot of censoring on one side or the other politically. There is censoring, but it's because of, it does actually violate their terms of service. Unlike Twitter and Facebook and all these other social media platforms that will say it violates the terms of service when actually it doesn't really. They're just trying to censor you because of one reason or another. They don't believe what you believe. So TikTok doesn't do that. So far, TikTok has not censored me for something I've posted. I have posted numerous things that would probably lean on the right side. I've also posted things that are just weird, because I'm a weird dude. But anyway, that's no matter. This TikTok video is from a guy, a user, Texan 1970s. So 1970s. If you guys want to, you can go and search that in the Discover page, Texan 1970s. But I don't understand where he's coming from, really. I don't know his background. You never know, right? It's on TikTok. You don't know if he's telling the truth or not. You don't know what he's saying, really. You don't know if he actually was there or whatever. But the video, essentially, if you guys want to check that out, you can too. I will try to put a link to the video in my show notes. We'll see what happens with that. I am using Anchor, after all, for this podcast. If you guys have not tried Anchor, you can go do so right now. Here is the ad. All right, guys, now that we got that out of the way, this video is interesting. It was removed once, but maybe it wasn't. People always say that, like even non-political TikToks, they'll be like, "Oh, this video was removed, and I'm posting it again," to try to get more people to subscribe to it. You know what I mean? Not actually subscribe to it, but like get on and watch it. It's like it builds the hype. You got to build that hype on TikTok because, you want to be famous. You want to be an influencer. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, he does that. He says this video was removed, which maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. We don't really know. It's an army guy. Army guy. Jesus, dude. I'm sorry. It's a military person. I don't know what he's in, which branch he is in. He has his uniform on, and it looks like a desert-style camo. But I'm not 100% sure because I've never been in the military, so please don't quote me on that. I am not trying to be a douchebag here. I promise. Okay. He has sunglasses on. You can't see his eyes. He's a bald dude, and he's like, I just witnessed a military retirement ceremony. He's been to dozens of these, he says. He's like, in this ceremony, though, this one was a little bit weird to me because there's a letter of appreciation. There's always a letter of appreciation signed by the current chief What do you call that? Just chief? I don't know. Whatever. The president of the United States, right? And commander in chief, yeah, the president of the United States. So it's always signed by the current president, right? Sure, whatever, great, awesome. We don't know when he attended this ceremony. We don't know if it was yesterday, the day he's posting this TikTok. We don't know if it was months ago. We don't know if it was actually 2020. Point is, though, he says this letter of appreciation was signed by President Donald Trump. And he's like, look, I'm not trying to add any fuel to the conspiracy fire, but it was definitely signed by President Trump, and it's always signed by the current president. So what the heck's going on? Basically is what he says, right? Okay, I had not been on the same page as this conspiracy in a while. Like, I walked away from even looking up stuff about this crazy conspiracy that Trump was just going to come back someday or one of these days this year or whatever after January. After January, I actually was doing a lot of research on it and finding the people that were saying this stuff and figuring out their backgrounds to figure out what kind of credibility they had, you know. Turns out I don't really think they had any, but no matter. Listen, though, listen. So if this was going to happen, if there's any possibility or chance or whatever that this was going to happen, I feel like maybe it wouldn't go the way it's going or the way they say it's going to go. But you know what, dude? The other thing is that none of us have experienced this before, you know? Just like being shut down because of a virus or, coronavirus. We had never experienced something like that. No one thought the government would actually shut down the economy before that. I don't think anyone thought that was a possibility, honestly. No one thought the government would mandate a, mask-wearing policy until it happened. So you don't know what's going to happen until it happens, unless it's happened to you in the past. That's how humans work. It seems like it's like muscle memory. But it's mind, it's memory, it's mind memory. Oh, man. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is I'm actually kind of like 50-50 on this whole thing. Like, straight up, I really am. It's almost like a neutrality. I'm not going to say, no, that's never going to happen, you're wrong, because I have zero idea. But I'm also not going to completely just jump on board and be like, yeah, Trump's president. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy for that. Wow, this mic is way too close. Hit my chin, bro. Anyway, so if you guys want to see the video, you can. But this is hilarious to me that this is even a thing. I'm going to play a few minutes of it for you guys. I can play it a few seconds.
This gentleman just
so
received
that's the voice.
A letter of appreciation.
But the thing is that I don't understand is how are we still on board with this? Like, I'm not sure. Like, I've had people tell me, okay, I say this, specifically one person has told me he believes Biden is being acted out by an actor. What? Where do you, okay. And then he says the reason he thinks this is because, one specific reason. Sorry, he says he has several reasons. And then he says, well, one reason I think this is because his earlobes are detached. Like, when you look at pictures of Biden in the Obama administration, his earlobes are detached. And he is right about that. Yes, I did my research. Yes, they are detached. Okay, fine, I get it. What's your point? And then he says, well, now they're attached. If you look in current pictures. Okay, I scoured the internet for current pictures. The problem with pictures on the internet is that they don't normally give you a date. Some of them do. But even if you look at a news article and it's like they use a theme image or whatever, a profile image for the article, and it's a featured image, I should say, and it's Biden. If they use that picture, it doesn't mean that it was posted that day the article was posted. It means that they got the picture from somewhere else. They use stock photos all the freaking time, or Getty images or whatever. So there's not really a good way to tell. But the point is that there are two Biden photos, and one's attached earlobe and one's detached. Okay, fine. What's your point there? Well, If that made you just freak out and you're like, oh my gosh, oh, you need to stop. Chill out. Hold on a second. People in this caliber with this much money get plastic surgery. Okay? They get plastic surgery. That can happen. Now, and I'm also not a huge believer in, a lot of QAnon stuff. They go pretty hard out there, man. They're a lot to take in. I would not go over there if you have a feeble mind, because you will be sucked in for sure. Anyway, but they would subscribe to the idea that these politicians and these very deep state individuals in the establishment have a thing they like to call, crap, I can't remember the name. It's like they get adrenaline from younger people somehow. Adrenochrome, that's what it was. It's some crazy thing. You guys can look that up if you want. I really don't want to talk about it on the show, but it might get brought up. I don't know. We'll see. But then they would subscribe to that idea, and that's why they think they look younger. Well, that wouldn't explain the detached earlobe to an attached earlobe, right? That wouldn't explain that. It doesn't change your physical DNA, because that's a DNA attribute. The earlobe thing is a DNA attribute, genetics. It's not like facial structure, facial wrinkles and stuff. It doesn't make you look younger. It's like that's actual structure feature or whatever you want to call it, DNA feature. So I'm not really going to say that that's true. He even said he called out an actor that would be doing it, Jim Carrey. I'm like, dude, wow. I like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's a cool dude. I actually don't think, and according to what Jim Carrey has said in the past on interviews, I don't think Jim Carrey would decide to work for the government. Now, if I could pinpoint, if I could speculate, this is all speculation, guys. All speculation. None of this is factual. Please do not, what I say about it might be factual, but the things I'm reading are not. This is a straight theory, guys, straight theory. Please do not subscribe to this idea that I'm a conspiracy theorist, even though I really am. This episode is not about that, I promise. But Jim Carrey, he's a pretty cool dude, and I've seen him on interviews, on the late night show. He has said he's basically made fun of the government. He's basically said things like, yeah, well, we're all controlled anyway, kind of thing, right? It's those are I'm paraphrasing like crazy. He did not say those exact words, but says stuff like that, and you're thinking, oh, Jim Carrey, wow, I guess you maybe you're not like the rest of those Hollywood people, Hollywood elites or whatever. Maybe not. I don't know. He's a funny guy to me, so I don't think he would be the actor in this whole endeavor that they're claiming is happening right now. They also say June 16th is the day, so June 16th? No, June 14th, tomorrow. Not tomorrow, I'm sorry. I record these podcasts a day early sometimes if I can. It is June 14th in the morning. Just to clarify, you guys are listening at that point right now, on your way to work maybe, or maybe you're just listening because you're up at 6:30 for some stupid reason. I don't know why you would be up. But to keep going on this conspiracy train here, choo-choo, Lynnwood slammed for claiming Joe Biden is dead and Trump still is president with the pick. He's a danger to society, he says. Lynnwood. That's crazy. That's crazy. And Lynnwood actually is running to be the head of the GOP in South Carolina right now. Holy crap. So how is it that an attorney running for the South Carolina GOP head or whatever, president of GOP, I don't know all the nuances, guys. I'm not a political science major. How is it that he is able to just post these crazy things? I don't know, man. It just sounds really far-fetched. But like I said at the beginning of the show, the other thing that was far-fetched to us at the very beginning, let me clarify. Far-fetched to the left media at the very beginning of COVID was the lab leak theory, which I was on board with at the very I was like, dude, no, that makes total sense. Yeah, from a bat, maybe. From a market, maybe. But if it was from that, then it was definitely played up by China. They lie to us all the time. Right? And Russia does too, so don't get it twisted. Or it was actually from a lab, and yeah, it was accidentally leaked, or how it was. And I me and my co-host on the Toasty podcast, we were on board with that from the beginning. So you guys can see that episode if you want to at the very beginning of COVID, March 2020, or March or February 2020, something like that, on our channel on YouTube. This will also be on our Toasty Podcast channel. I think from now on, I am going to put everything on that channel. I think. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Anyway, guys, that's my talk for the day. That's the conversation for the day. Just get you thinking. Get you thinking about some stuff, and go do your research. Do your own research. Find out some things, some truths, and just look at the overall website layout. Like, if you're looking at articles, man, some of these websites are freaking trash. Like, seriously. They just put some type up, and they're like, all right, we got a website. We're good. You got to make it look believable, at least. Like, come on, man. It's just weird. So, I'm at this renewamerica.com right now. I've never seen this before in my life, so I will not attest to knowing anything about it. But, yeah. This is written by Stephen Stone, and I don't know who... Stephen Stone is the president and editor of Renew America, a conservative media site dedicated to restoring respect for America's founding principles. Oh, all right, well, that's what this site is, I guess. A few days ago, one of my brothers, a retired lawyer, sent me a message that asked, so is Trump still president? I'm reading it now, by the way. Since the phrasing of the question implied the answer was neither simple nor straightforward, I gave the answer serious thought from every angle I could think of. Oh, he did some research here. Because of unprecedented anomalies that haven't been sufficiently resolved regarding the November 3rd election, there is still some question as to the election's outcome. Among the factors still at play are these. Holy crap, he actually did some crazy research. It's possible that all of the above issues may be conclusively resolved once the Senate convenes February 9th to try Trump. Okay, February. This was written in January. You guys, okay. Got me! See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at the date when it was written, please. Because that just threw me off. This is out of date. And, yeah, I know it's only like a few months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever it is, but that is still out of date. For this kind of stuff, dude, you got to be on top of it, man. So exit out of that site. Gone. Anyway, guys, I'm glad you joined the show, and if you haven't already, you can check out my website, therealskyday.com. You can also check out my YouTube channel, The Real Sky Day, there too as well. I am everywhere. Social media exists, and I'm also on all podcast platforms. I love you guys, and this is not your average show, and I'm not your average guy. So, see you later.